Breathe. Just breathe. Now, reach out. With your mind, dummy!
Oh, okay. I'll try this again.
Okay. What do you see?
Spoilers. A bunch of spoilers.
You've been warned. This is our review of The Last Jedi. It's LazerDude time and we're gonna do a review. Yes, we're gonna review. I'll talk about movies and comics too. Let's all go watch the review. Hello everybody, how's it going? I am LazerDude, and this is
Lex Presley.
And we are here to review Star Wars The Last Jedi. Okay, so like we did in the intro, this is going to be a spoiler-full review. We're gonna spoil the heck out of this film, so if you haven't seen this film, go see it. That's just basically, I recommend it, and we'll be getting into the different details of it, but I recommend it thoroughly. And so this is our spoiler warning. We're gonna just talk about it. So, what did you think of it?
Yeah, I thought it was alright, but just not what I was expecting or really hoping for in the movie.
Well, here's the thing. I think this wasn't what a lot of people were expecting, but I'm noticing such a big divide. A divide between the fans and the critics. And it seems like pretty defined. Like, of course, I'm not saying that every critic likes it and every fan dislikes it, but it seems like there is a lot of complaints coming from the fan side, and the critics just love this movie. You know, some of them saying it's the best Star Wars movie ever.
Yeah, well, look at the Rotten Tomatoes. 93% of critics like it, and I think it's like 56% of audience like it.
Yeah, and I think that has to do with the fact that the movie is very different in its approach because... we all were saying how Force Awakens was basically a ripoff of A New Hope. But this is completely different. Is it darker like Empire Strikes Back? It's darker, but not like Empire Strikes Back. Not entirely. There are some similarities of someone has to be trained by a master and they goes to face the bad guy. But the way that this plot subverts those expectations and changes things up, I think is what really makes it really cool.
For me, anyways, not really, because to me it's still... I'm part of the group that feels like it... Yeah, you're watching Star Wars, but it doesn't feel like you're watching a Star Wars movie.
Well, I think that there are some things that came to me like that, but stuff needs to change, because that's just the way of time, you know? The Bond movies of today are not like the Bond movies of the past. As long as you stay true to the original ideas, I think that's fine. Like, the humor is definitely now very Marvel-esque type humor. Like, the beginning where he's like, Hux? General Hux? Are you there? Hello? Testing? Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? That humor is very Marvel-like, but that's the modern style of humor.
The humor didn't match the movie very well.
I don't think that's true. I think it's fine because the humor is still coming from the characters and what the characters' personalities are like. It's different from the original, but I think that's just moving forward with the times and what the times are like. This is a new generation of people. And it's not like the old characters are acting new and using weird jokes. When Luke makes a joke, it feels like Luke of the past. You know, it's not like the scene where she's like, reach out, and Ray goes like this, and he goes... With the grass. You feel that? That's the Force. Really? No! Like that.
Oh, you mean reach out with you? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like that scene, that doesn't feel like modern humor. That feels like Luke classic humor, and... The scenes with the classic characters, I still feel that way, but the tone of the movie is unlike any of the other Star Wars. Like, we got a lot of stuff going on. We got, of course, Rey with Luke, Finn with this new girl Rose, and Poe on this ship. I think that one of the things, and this is my only real complaint about the movie, is that most of the plot is all fixated on the thing that we got, like... We got Star Destroyers and Snoke's ginormous ship here. And we got the Rebel one big ship here. And they're flying away and they're going like this across.
Yeah, did that pretty much throughout the whole movie, like with that part.
Yeah, and it felt...
Just to keep them out of range, I'm like...
It felt very much like a ship battle, like at sea, you know? You have these ships here are more powerful, but this one's faster, and so it's like they're just going and just waiting for them to catch up with them.
Run out of fuel.
The problem is like, this is one thing I'm just like, wait a minute, why, they've got like 5 Star Destroyers. Why don't you just send 2 ahead, Lightspeed, like... Here's the Rebel ship, here's the Empire's or First Order ship. Why don't you just send 2 ahead and come back this way? And you hit them at it from both ends.
Because when I rewatched the movie, they were saying they asked them to fall back because they were too far out of range because they couldn't cover them. That was the reason why they fell back, and that part didn't bother me, because look, this is going far into the movie. Look what the 2 TIE fighters did to the Resistance ship, the big main one. They blew, what do they call it, the command center?
I think it was the command deck, the bridge.
The bridge. They completely blew that part up, and then, what's his name, Kylo destroyed all the
ships?
All the ships while they were...
The A-Wings?
Yeah, whatever they're called, while they were getting ready to prepare to protect the Resistance. He goes into their shield, through their shield, and pretty much blows up the whole base part there while they're getting ready.
They didn't explain that part well. This is one of these things that, if it was in book form, I think would have been able to be explained a lot better, but they only have the visuals and stuff. It might make total sense, but it doesn't feel like it makes sense in my mind. But I didn't mind it too much. But that was the only one thing that I thought may have been a plot hole. Like, because they said, like, oh, we only have 1 light speed jump left in us. I'm like, wait a minute, what? When has there ever been limitations on how many light speed jumps you can make? I have never, in any of the Star Wars movies, or in any of the expanded universe, heard a limit on the light speed drive. Like, it's either working or not working, but I've never heard, we get 2 more jumps out of this thing, then we have to refuel.
I didn't really care for that part, but they had to do something to keep that part going.
Alright, now I'm moving away from my negative to the positives. Rey is still a great character. I really like what they do with her in this film, and how she has this same kind of like naive thing to her that Luke had, and she is still played by Daisy Ridley. She's still a lot of fun, and it is just good with the way she is. Anytime that she and Luke are on screen, you want them to just stay on screen. And then when it cuts back to other characters, like, oh, okay, but I'm kind of... Can we see what's going on with her?
No, okay. And you may be done with the complaints, but I have a lot more to complain about in this movie.
Alright, you complain, I'll defend.
The whole thing? What about the whole thing with Luke's character? Most of it didn't feel like that's what Luke would actually do. Like, there's this whole setup at the end of Force Awakens where Rey was handing Luke his lightsaber, which I will say it was funny when he does grab the lightsaber and looks at it and just looks right back at her and just throws it off the cliff pretty much and just walks away. But I do know what the movie was trying to do. It was trying to like show that he is kind of given up on trying to bring back the Jedi.
But I think that's less, like, that's not a problem with the movie. I think it's a inner thing that we don't like to see our heroes in this down of a spot, you know? We always want our heroes to be triumphant and, you know, because I remember I had theories that Luke was on the island because, like, the Force has this thing where it sometimes tells you to be patient and you have to wait or do something that might not make sense, but it's, you know, will all work out in the end if you trust in the Force. But Luke had completely, like, given up on the Force.
Yeah, and which, if he wanted just to go there to, you know, he went, like, what did he say? He went there to die? Yeah, that's what he said. He went to the island to die there, pretty much. Then explain the whole thing with the, why did he leave a freaking map for anyone to find him? Okay,
let me just think this through. Yeah, I was wondering about this too. Like, why did he leave the map? I think it's more of maybe it's like an act of faith, you know? Maybe when he put the map out, he was wasn't planning on going away forever. But maybe after a while he became more jaded and never wanted to be found. You know, it's like maybe when he first went to the island he was looking for guidance, but became jaded and angry and cut himself off from the Force, but he had already left the plans out, the
map out.
The map out there. I think that's something that could definitely be dived into more in like books, you know, like books about this story. I think the one thing that this movie does that is kind of like a first for the Star Wars movies. There is no time jump between The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. There is minutes that are in between them, if not seconds. You know, like, it picks right off, and I think that is kind of a problem, because the genius things about George Lucas's Star Wars films, of the original 3, is that there was such a time difference in between them, you could fill them with as many other stories as possible. There are so many books written about what happened between New Hope and Empire, what happened between Empire and Return of the Jedi. You know, less for that because there's a whole Han thing and everyone wants Han in their books. But, you know, there's the stuff in between where this one takes place right after, where I think the next story that's going to be Episode 9, I think that one's going to... There's going to be
there's going to be a gap.
A gap. If not a month, at least, I would guess a couple of years.
Yeah, I'm hoping there's going to be a couple of years. So like, they might do that just for one thing, just so they don't have to continue to focus on Rey's training. Kind of do like, you know, what Return of the Jedi did. When Luke comes back into the movie, he's a Jedi Knight.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting to see because that ending left me really confused, because we see another boy with Force potential, who has powers of the Force, who moves that broom. And I'm thinking that that's supposed to be Hope. And I remember my first idea was, oh, that's Luke's son! We were thinking Rey, but no, Luke has a hidden son here. But then it was like, well, then why is he on this place? So you think that Luke would have hidden his son?
I'm also thinking, too, because Luke did mention that when Kylo left that part where he was training...
Yeah, he took some with him.
Some with him, and I think that was still the planet where that casino is.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where they're giving a lot of stuff to the First Order, and that's probably where...
Well, I think
Kylo could have left some of the other Jedi.
In my mind, I'm thinking, what if the next movie we have more than just Rey versus Kylo as Force users? What if it was like Rey starts like a new school guided by Ghost Force Luke? Because we're going to have Ghost Force Luke, right?
Yeah, by the way, Luke does die in this.
Well, given the spoiler warning, if they haven't...
Yeah, no, but you're just saying like right off the bat, we're going to get I was just about to say Goose Luke. But I'm tired, leave me alone.
I was interested in what can we do with the Force Ghosts, you know? It's like, when Ben was Force Ghost, he didn't say, all right, Luke, it's time to go back to your training. Oh, Ben! You're a ghost? Yes, but don't worry about that. I can still teach you of the Force. Now grab your lightsaber and put the helmet on.
Yeah, well, think about it. Luke can still train Rey, because look what Yoda did, and he's a ghost as well.
Yeah.
He
did a teaching moment to Luke, and Yoda flipping did lightning.
To help Luke, he kind of, to let go of the textbooks.
To let go of the past.
Yeah.
Letting go of the past was a big theme in this movie.
I think themes. Letting go and hope.
Yeah, but hope is always a big Star Wars theme, but
yeah.
This one is definitely about letting go and being haunted by your past. Because Kylo Ren is haunted by his past.
Yeah, and he keeps on saying... He doesn't let go.
Yeah, he doesn't let go. He keeps on saying, kill the past, burn it if you can, you know, but he's obviously not letting go. He is holding on to every dark thing that ever happened to him, every dark thing that he's ever done, and he's holding on to it and letting it corrupt him. And where
he kills
Rey has to let go of the past, and she does, I think, of what the whole... I like how this movie, in 2 fail swoops, does like a screw you to Star Wars theorists. Because the 2 biggest questions going into this film was... Who is Snoke? And who's Rey's parents and who is Snoke? And right now the answer is don't know, don't care.
Yeah, like, well, for one, we kind of like figured out who's Rey's parents, where they were just
nobodies.
Yeah, nobodies. They pawned her off to get money.
And this guy, can you believe this guy? what does he do after he's done watching the movie? Types on the computer, wow, I can't believe Luke was Rey's father the whole time. Yeah. And then he tells one of our friends this in front of me, and I'm almost about to correct him, but I can't because that'll spoil it.
It'll so spoil
Jordan, it. I'm sorry. This guy's a liar, and I said nothing, but yeah.
Hopefully you watched the movie before you watch this review.
Well, how would he... we've already given it away if he hasn't. Yeah, but...
oh, yeah, and Snoke? Kyle.
Hey, what's up, Kyle Ren?
Kylo?
Yes.
Kylo kills Snoke in this movie.
Look,
that was... That you can kind of see coming, but at the same time, it still caught me off guard still.
Look, I know that there's a lot of people that have a lot of problems with this movie, and there are some that I agree with. Should Admiral Akbar have been in the bigger role than this Admiral character played by Laura Dern? Yes, sure, I'll agree with stuff like that. But you gotta admit this movie has amazing moments. The scene where Kylo Ren uses the manipulation through the Force of both his lightsaber and Rey/Luke's old lightsaber and kills Snoke right there.
Right there, Snoke is telling Rey that
I can see his every thought.
I know what he's thinking, and as soon as he pretty much says I know what he's thinking, all of a sudden you hear the lightsaber sound go boom, and Snoke's face just... Yeah.
Oh,
and
crap!
then he looks down and he sees that. Then, of course, the camera zooms out a little bit. Well, actually, a lot to see that the lightsaber went right through.
Yeah, and then it goes out and he just flops over to the ground. It's just like, oh crap, that is cool. Kylo. Okay, here's my thing about Kylo Ren. I still don't find him as menacing as a villain because he's still over the top with rage and less cool and collected like Darth Vader, but. He's become way more interesting as a character in this movie.
Because after the whole thing where he kills Snoke, and especially that fight scene, it wasn't actually a lightsaber duel in this.
His lightsabers and shock staffs or whatever those
things were that those people in the red,
the
guards, whatever,
the Imperial guards, guardsmen.
Because after Snoke dies, of course the Imperial guards get pissed and they try to kill Rey and
Kylo
and Kyle. Damn it!
Stop calling him Kyle.
Anyways, that was a good scene. I didn't care that there wasn't a lightsaber battle. It was still because it was still good.
The fight scenes are really good. There are some of the lightsaber fights that are a lot shorter than I would have cared for, but there really wasn't. There was absolutely no lightsaber scene besides the one with hologram Luke and. No, they still use lightsabers against the shock staffs, so it was technically still a lightsaber fight.
Yeah, but I'm talking about a lightsaber duel. It wasn't Rey.
It wasn't
versus Kylo, or what some people are actually kind of hoping for the Luke versus Snoke.
Yeah, well, that didn't need to happen. I'll take Kylo slicing Snoke in half because,
He Darth Mauled him.
I like this movie. Why I love it is because it takes all the things that were actual problems in Force Awakens and just subverts your expectations with all of them. We thought this is the new Emperor. No, he's not. He's just a figurehead for that, and now we get to find out more about the real villain through that and see his betrayal. We never got to see the underling betray the up guy. And now we get to see that, and it's actually really cool. And I really enjoy Kylo Ren as a character. I like how they connected them through this movie, and they have this weird connection with each other. And Rey, of course, at the first, with these connections, is all she's hateful at him, but then she pities him and sees him and is using her will to want to better him. This movie takes things like it.
That's where you find out too that. The whole thing was a kind of a trap for her because Snoke was the one
linking them,
Kylo's and Rey's mind together.
And what I really like about it is because this takes classic Star Wars stuff and subversion. Because there's a lot of things that it changes. Rey going to Snoke is very similar to Luke going to the Emperor with Vader. But it's totally different in the way they do it. And Finn and Rose going to this, plan to take out the tracking device It is very similar to Luke, Han, and Ben Kenobi turning off the tractor beam and whatnot. But I like how it changes stuff up because they fail. They do not.
Yeah, they get captured.
They get captured, and I like how we never really see that in these movies. Any foolhardy, anytime a person's like, "You're mad, there's a 0 chance you'll win," they're like, "But we gotta try." And yeah, well, they try, and they don't win. They fail. But later, because of their rashness in trying to do this daring thing, they're the reasons why their actual escape plan didn't work as well as it could have. Because if you think about it,
pretty much sacrificed all of them. And
if they didn't,
there were all heroes that died on there, but no leaders.
No, what I meant was, I'm talking about like later when they're trying to sneak off their big ship and all these little transports, right?
They had no protection.
Well, no, you're not getting what I'm saying.
I'm just saying they had no protection.
No, but then they would have got away if they didn't send Finn and Rose on their journey and got this other slicer guy who
that's
gave them
technically
up.
not their fault.
No, it is their fault.
Not Poe's fault or anything.
Yeah, he approved their mission.
That, but is because he did not know that what the original plan was.
Okay, fair enough. He didn't that wasn't the original guy, but it's still interesting because they tried to do this daring one in a million chance thing. This other guy betrays them, sells them out, and then because of that, a lot of the rebels get killed, or the resistance, I guess, get killed because of this impulsive behavior. My only thing is, I don't really know what Finn's thing is. Like, I guess it's the thing where Rose has him at the end, where he says, "We'll win this by saving the ones we love, not by fighting the ones we hate," sort of thing. I guess, but I didn't really get that.
I didn't care for that part where it showed to me that Rose was so freaking selfish because he was about to sacrifice himself to stop
the battering ram.
Yeah, from blowing the doors. He was just about to sacrifice himself for her, and he would have succeeded if she didn't intercept. To me, that shows that, no, she's just being selfish.
Well, no, I think that there is something to that but I don't know, because it's just like...
I just hope she doesn't make it.
You did not like Rose,
I did not like Rose.
I didn't care for Rose too much, but I didn't hate her. I thought she had some funny moments, like her and Finn in the beginning, they had that really funny moment. Can you believe I've stunned 3 deserters that tried to steal an escape pod? Unbelievable.
And then
What's
she
with
looks
the bag? Yeah. But, so there's good moments with her. I felt that was the weakest of the plots.
I do get, though, the one thing I will say is that there's a thing that, because I watched some reviews after I watched the movie, right? Mm-hmm. After we watched the movie, is that a lot of people are saying that the whole casino thing with them going there was just a waste of time. To me, I thought they were showing the whole thing like slavery and like it's a bad thing because basic that's what those kids are there for. Yeah, but also too to me it's like it's also showing
it's supposed to be a character. People have been saying like, oh, it's saying that animal abuse is bad. Well, no, it's a character building moment. It's supposed to be a character building moment for Rose, so we get to know her more,
bringing more hope.
But my problem with that scene isn't that it's pointless. My problem with that scene is that the casino looks like one of our casinos. Like, honestly, you take all the aliens out of there, did that casino look like any
James Bond movie?
Yeah, like if I want Alien Casino, I want Alien Casino. I want some weird stuff going on. Not weird like that creature that Luke was milking. And that was weird. I want to see some weird stuff. I want this to look like recognizable, so we know what it is. Okay, this is a casino, but this is clearly not a casino you would find here on Earth.
Yeah, and just because they add in the music, kind of bar music that they had in the original,
I didn't hear that
part. It was mixed in with new and then had old style to it.
But anyway,
that's why you should watch it with me the second time.
It's too early, and there wasn't anybody new. I gotta watch it with someone new, like I might see it with like Chris or somebody else who hasn't seen it yet, but not at this.
Yeah, but anyways, just because they add that in there doesn't mean it's going to give you the full effect. Like, yeah, this is like a Star Wars planet.
But as I say, it's a character building journey. Like the journey isn't pointless? Maybe, I guess, but it's supposed to... Like, what else are Finn and this Rose character going to be doing otherwise, right?
Really,
you gotta send them. You gotta send them somewhere and have them do something. Otherwise, they're on the ship with Poe doing more worrying stuff. You know, there has to be something that they're doing. And was this the most interesting route they could have taken it? No, but I still learn about these characters. I still like these characters, and so I don't find that big of a problem with it.
Yeah. By the way, when we were talking about the whole with Finn's character, with them get sent off to find the
Slicer. It's Slicer is a Star Wars term for a hacker.
Yeah. Well, the reason why that happened is, like, I was talking about earlier about the whole thing where one of the TIE fighters fire on the
command bridge.
The command bridge is all the people that were in second command after Leia all died in there besides Leia.
Yeah,
she still gets sucked down into a vacuum of space, but
that scene was really good.
Yeah.
Dude, this is spoilers. You don't need to tell them what happened.
I'm not saying things that good. You said it was really good. No, I was thinking it would have been better off if that's how she died. Because you're thinking about this is war. Like, yeah, people wouldn't probably really care for it, but at the same time, it's war.
Yeah, but she plays too big of a role in the rest of the film. If you did that without giving Leia her goodbye with Luke, her moment with Luke, that would have been,
It still would have been a Blake Gibb.
Yeah, it's an easy way to write her out of the film, but that doesn't make it the best story decision.
No, but it still would have showed, this is what could happen in war, especially in Star Wars.
It's too repetitive over what she I guess Kylo didn't shoot onto the building itself. He actually hesitated, and somebody else did. But I think, I think the moment where she awakens and uses the Force to pull her back inside is way cooler than just having her die. I think it would have been anticlimactic. You might as well have had her killed with Han. So I don't have any problems with that thing. There's a lot of problems a lot of things that people don't like to bring up, which I don't actually think are problems for this story. I think they're personal problems that, I have personal problems with it. I think that the commander or the admiral should have been in a uniform and not this weird dress thing with a purple hair. I mean, sure, fine, give her purple hair, but give her a uniform, I don't like that she's in a dress, but you know what? They were getting off the planet. Maybe she didn't have time to change. She was just like, oh, we got to evict now? Okay, let's go.
Still, at least if we're for one of the cool scenes, though, after when one of those escape pods are getting fired on from the First Order, she realizes that she's going to have to turn the ship around and then use the light speed and go straight through the First Order. And when she does that, everything goes quiet. You don't hear anything.
Oh, that was great.
You see her going right through Snoke's ship, and then all the other starfighters.
Yeah.
They all get destroyed.
I'm like, why don't they have that? Kamikazes don't work in the real world, but in the Star Wars universe, they seem to be pretty darn effective.
Yeah, that was cool, and that's actually what saved Finn and Rose from
getting
what's
sliced.
Her name, but
Captain Phasma.
Yeah, that Finn calls her Chrome Dome.
Well,
that suit was awesome though, because when Rose shot her with the laser gun, whatever it's
blaster,
called, with the blaster, the laser hits the armor, but it bounces off.
Yeah, Phasma's still a waste of a character. I think she'll be used greatly in expanded universe stuff when we get to see more of her.
It was disappointing though to have her die that fast. Maybe she'll come back, but I hardly doubt it.
I doubt it. I mean, she's already fallen down one garbage chute into a flaming garbage chute. That's probably not the best way.
Yeah, they bring her back in the 9th film, and she ends up dying from another garbage chute. She'll be like, "Oh, come on!"
But no, I think she's done. I think that's the end of Finn's arc. Honestly, I think this Benicio del Toro's Splicer guy is going to be his next obstacle. Either that, or it's going to be all focused on Kylo. Which, that's the thing. I don't know where this movie's going to go, where the next movie's going to go. It is all blown wide open. That's what makes me excited. This is the first time in a long time where I've been in a movie like this where I had no idea what the story was going to be. And there was so many good moments with it. When Luke comes back, you were there. I clapped. I tried to get people to clap when he had this moment there. It was so good.
You clapped second.
Now, yeah, that's true. Somebody else clapped, and I tried to join in on it, but then nobody else clapped. But my point is, like, there was so many great moments. The light speed thing through the other ships, amazing. Luke facing off against Kylo and all of those AT-ATs, amazing. The scenes with Leia as she floated right back inside. I think that was so well done and animated, and it blew my mind. And you know what? Yoda showing up. I didn't think that was going to happen, and I was really, like, it looked a little off for me, but still, it's Yoda. You got to be at least a little excited. So, the fact that the story was not predictable, the characters are still very likable, one of the 3 subplots isn't that interesting, and I think one of the problems with this movie is that not all the characters got to meet each other. I mean, Rey and Poe meet at the end of this movie for the first time, and that's why I think there's going to have to be a big time jump, because they're going to have to develop a friendship by the next movie, so you feel this kingsmanship in between them. I think that, I was saying how there should be like an animated series with Luke, Han, and Leia after this trilogy wraps up. But I think, what if we have one right after Rebels and about what's going on in between this movie and the next? I think that would be
something that happened in between The Last Jedi and Force Awakens.
Well, no, because nothing happened between Last Jedi and Force Awakens. It just picked up right
Sorry,
on.
not that came out
Last Jedi and the
Jedi
next...
Returns, I mean. The Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what if we do one now with between The Last Jedi and the next one?
Yeah, that'll still work.
Because there's gonna be it's now like a recruitment drive, right? The Resistance is basically down to double digits of people.
Yeah, all the people that are left in the Resistance can all fit on
the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to start rebuilding, and I don't think you can tell that in a movie, but you could tell it in an animated series.
Oh, apparently, when they were reaching out to find other people, when Luke came back, well, hologram Luke, came back, it was supposed to, what were they saying, spark, hope?
Yeah, it was like, we're the spark that will burn.
Because when they called out for help called out for help, no one responded. They were getting the message, but no one responded. They were not going to go help
their resistance. Go to voicemail. I'm not answering that today.
Yeah, they're not going to go help their resistance because they've given up.
So
I'm thinking that when the hope does come back, like how they're saying spark and hope again, that all those people that originally did ignore the resistance call for help are going to eventually, join in. But they're still going to have to find more people.
As I say, I think there's going to be a time jump in between these movies, and I want there to be, because I want Rey to be a fully fledged Jedi by the next one, which obviously they're going to do.
Yeah, and her training other...
what if Rey and Kylo get Padawans?
Yeah, instead of just be like Rey versus Kylo, it'll be like Rey and her Padawans versus Kylo and his Padawans.
It'd be interesting.
Be all Fallout lightsaber war.
Yeah.
With the space war.
That would be interesting.
Doing an epic ending kind of thing. An epic battle.
We'll have to wait and see, but I am still very enthusiastic about Episode 8, The Last Jedi. It's like, there are some things where just like, it's not necessarily how I wanted it to end. Like, I've been getting into the Legends books and... audiobooks. It's so hard to read these days.
So were you the ones that didn't really care for the end when Luke dies?
He dies, but as I say, he's going to be back, and I wanted him to... I didn't want him to die. I remember when he disappeared, I'm like, no! I didn't cry, but I was like really disappointed. But
left a good scene,
it was a fitting end, it was a good scene, it was a fitting end, and as I say, it's not going to be the end for him.
No.
But I guess we got to try to get this from the perspective of this is not Luke's story anymore. This is Rey's story. Rey is now going to be the one that rebuilds the Jedi into what it's going to be in the future.
Yeah. And speaking of which, when he was a hologram, what was funny when we didn't know that he was a hologram, when Kyle had every gun
shoot at him,
and then as the red dust start to clear, Luke comes out and just kind of.
Well, what I thought was funny is like when they shot the ground, the red dust came up, and even though I knew this probably wasn't true, I thought, oh my gosh, they killed him! There's all the blood flying everywhere. What a bad anticlimactic thing. I will fade. Oh shoot! Yeah. But no, when the dust settled,
I still love it though. He says, "Get me down there now." And then what's his name? That guy you don't like.
Are you mad? Or something like that. It's like
he does go. He goes, "The supreme leader," and
throws him across the room.
One of the other guys.
You right away, sir.
And that lightsaber scene, like it wasn't like it was supposed to be like
they didn't. Fight.
It's not really a lightsaber duel because Luke was just a hologram. Because if he would have hit the lightsaber, it just would have went. Vroom.
I think their lightsabers did clash.
No, he just did dodge moves.
Yeah, maybe.
When I watched it, he ducked the first time and did like kind of a really fast get back, and then they do a slow mo where he does dodge again, kind of a limbo dodge, and then you find out when Kylo does eventually try to cut him in half. Luke just turns around, and all of a sudden Kylo gets up and goes with his lightsaber, goes up to him, and pokes right through him. And that's when you find out that he's not even there. You go to the island where Luke is.
That was when I was like, oh crap, that is amazing.
Yeah, and
that is absolutely amazing.
You see Luke just with his legs crossed, and he's
floating
above where he was. So anyway, that was too much. That's why he dies, though, according to a lot of people.
Well, because Kylo says, you're not doing this. When he's seen Rey, he's like, you're not doing this. The strain would kill you. So I think that's kind of the same thing with Luke. But anyway, I think we've gone almost an hour. So I think we should wrap this up. I am still fully positive. It is definitely my favorite Star Wars movie after... I still like the originals more. This is going to take some time before I place it up against...
is better.
Well, yeah, this is one of the originals. I still like the originals more. It's going to take a while before I place it up against them and try to rank it. But this is still definitely the best Star Wars movie in my mind since the new ones that have been coming out. And I'm excited to see this guy get his own trilogy and what he's going to do with it. So I personally am giving Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, a...
Some kind of panic attack?
8 out of 10.
Maybe I'll have to give it a 5 out of 10.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. A 5?
Yeah, I was still disappointed in a lot of the stuff, but I'm not going to go on to that because we've been here for an hour. I still say that Star Wars Episode 7, Force Awakens, is still better than this one.
Last Jedi had way more epic moments than
to me,
Force
it just
Awakens.
dropped all the... It was... What is it called? Plot dropping? Everything... J.J. Abrams set up for the new trilogy, but then this guy comes in and screws it all up.
No, he didn't screw it up. He made it way more interesting. This has way... Like, The Force Awakens is a good movie, but it has only, like, 3 or 4 really epic moments. The Millennium Falcon TIE Fighter chase, Han getting stabbed to death, and, I don't know.
The lightsaber scene with,
No, the lightsaber scene was not that great, I didn't think.
I like it because it shows that
there's so many. There's the light speed going through the ships. There's Luke appearing as a hologram, but you don't know that, and all the things fire on him. There is Rey going into that cave in that really trippy scene. There is Yoda showing up. There is Poe in the beginning just lighting up all those towers. It was taking on a dreadnought by himself. This movie, in my mind, while it still has some problems here and there, is still, in my mind, the best of the new Star Wars films, but we're going to have to agree to disagree.
So, I'm shaking your hand because you'd like the other one better.
Fine. I am...
sorry, I didn't mean to say 5, by the way. I meant to say 7. I was thinking 5 of the last movie I saw. But no, this one, I'll say it's 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Which I gave Star Wars Force Awakens an 8 out of 10.
Okay, fair enough. We can end on that. So thanks for watching, everybody. I am LazerDude.
And I am Lex Presley.
Weren't you Lex 47?
The Force changed.
Oh.
Lex 47 was the good side of me, but no.
That was the good side? You shot me! Oh.
I am in between good and bad right now.
Okay, Kylo. Thanks for watching, everybody. Adios.
Be sure to check out some of these other videos on my channel. And wait for more coming soon.